Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the Patreons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it, guys. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about SU27. As you know, we got technically two versions of it. It's not really that, but you know what I mean. The SU27S and the J11, you know, that we got for China. But as you know, it's not going to be the last two SU27s, it's just the two first. And we can expect a lot of SU27s to be added. You know, there's a lot of aircraft. But which of these SU27s or SU27 variants or flankers in general will probably be the first ones to be added after this patch that we got with the S variant? So let's talk a little bit about that. I already have a video on the whole Russian tech tree on how I think the Russian tech tree will be in the future, so you can check it out. I think it's the most successful video in the channel even. So people like to talk about this. But yeah, guys, the first one would be a very similar aircraft to the version we have in the game. The Su-33, guys. The Su-33, it is basically an Su-27. But it has some modifications done to it. The first modification that they did is obviously it has all the naval package, as you see right there. It's a naval aircraft, so it can fold its wings. It has the hook on the tail of the aircraft to land, and it doesn't have a catapult like system on the gear, but it does have more power, slightly more power on the engines as a extra WEP, you know, for you to actually use in takeoffs and landings to do a little bit more kilonewtons when stationary, okay? That would be the main difference. So it is a little bit hard, like a little bit heavier, but it does have the canards and everything else to actually be able to stay on the same level of performance while being heavier, because it is a naval aircraft, right? On the armament, it is basically the same. Okay, of course there were upgrades done to it on its life, but we're not gonna talk about that. Specifically, it would use the same armament, R27s, R73s, all sorts of stuff like that, non-guided air-to-ground stuff. And the coolest part about it on the weapons department is that it had 2 extra pylons, so it can actually take 2 extra R27s or R73s, bringing the number of missiles to 12. So that would be probably one of the next Su-27s flankers in general that we would probably receive, because it is the same radar, the same everything. It has a little bit of a different programming on the radar to actually be a little bit better on the on sea level scanning and stuff like that, but I think it's just a little thing. And yeah, everything else is the same, you know, the radar, the IRST, the systems, the helmet mounted sight, the missiles, everything like that would be the same. So it would be an Su-27 that might be a little bit heavier, but it does have the canards, so it might be able to pull a lot of AOA, and it does have 2 extra missiles. The second one is the Su-27SM, but we're not gonna go through it exactly. Remember, this aircraft, I think this could be an aircraft to be added, because the Su-27 that we have in the game technically could not use the R77 without some upgrades done to it. There were late models of the Su-27S that could actually take the R77 and take 2 extra missiles as well, with the 2 extra pylons that the Su-33 actually used as well, but it was like smaller numbers than the original Su-27. And also the SM would be the main production model, and Gaijin always kind of goes to the main production models, so we would probably see an SM variant. You know, the SM would be like the SMT upgrade is done to the MiG-29, the SM would be that, an early 2000s upgrade to carry the R77s, upgrade the cockpit and everything like that. So it would be a very cool aircraft, would be the same Su-27 that we have in the game, but with a better radar, better avionics, and be able to carry the R77 when the Fox 90s, Fox 3s are added, okay? The third one, and then we enter in the multi-role kind of environment, would be some form of Su-30. So here, as I said, Gaijin likes to put versions of aircraft that are really produced, or mainly that when they can, when they can, that's the main thing. So I don't know exactly what variant they will probably add about the Su-30, but remember, the Su-30, it is, it started as basically an interceptor model that could take 2 persons, and with that, the main difference between the Su-27 and the Su-27PU, or the original Su-30, would be that it is a little bit heavier, carrying 2 persons. That would be it. But of course, later models like the M, the MKs, the M2, the SMs, everything like that, we got different variants with way more weaponry, especially in the air-to-ground, and of course a lot of stuff like R-77s and better versions of all the missiles. So it depends on the variant that they want to add, but I would say that the Su-30 probably will be one of the first multi-role, really multi-role with guided stuff, versions of the flanker to be added. As I said, I don't know what variant they should add. Me personally, maybe the Su-30M, or M2, something like that. But yeah, let's wait and see. At least at first. Of course, later the SM and other models, okay? And then we have the last one, the Su-34, also a multi-role aircraft. And this would be one of the most advanced like flankers that we would have along this time frame, without having an Su-35 or anything like that. The Su-34 is a very advanced aircraft for the time. It has some very interesting technologies like the N012 radar on the back, looking back to actually lock targets that are behind you technically, and basically uses a MAL system initially. But yeah, it could carry anything that the other Su flankers could do, even Fox 3 missiles and everything like that. But of course, it is the Duck. It has 2 places, so it's heavier. It should be a little bit more sluggish than the original Su-27s. But the thing is the weapon system. So it has a PESA radar that can actually detect targets flying high at up to 100 kilometers. But the main thing is that it could actually do a lot of things just flying around and destroying ground targets. So it has a ground radar, and it can use ground, ground weaponry to actually destroy tanks and hunt down tanks. And that would be the main thing about this aircraft, it could actually use guided stuff to actually destroy ground targets. So that will be the main thing about it, okay? And it would be the ultimate SU, I think it should be coming in something like the bomber line maybe, or something like that, or just an attacker, because it would be mainly an attacker, a heavier version of an SU that could actually ground attack very well. And these are the 4 aircraft that I think are the main flankers that we will see in the soonish future, especially the Su-33 and a new version of the Su-27 to carry R-77s. But of course, multi-role versions, they will add for sure something like that, just like they will add an F-15E as soon as they can, I think. Of course, I still think that an F-15C will come up for the US sooner, but the E will eventually come, just like the Su-30 and 34. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments what is the first Su-27 or flanker in general version that would you like to see, and also that you think Gaijin will add. Let me know in the comments. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe.